Greetings, Athenian community. Eric Niles here. We started this week with some excellent news, and that's that the county and the state authorities have approved our waiver to allow our sixth grade to return to school. They approved that application for two big reasons. The first is that sixth grade is part of the definition of elementary school in California, and elementary schools, not other schools, are allowed to apply for waivers. The more important reason is that the safety plan that we developed together with our industrial engineers and a medical doctor on staff met all of the criteria for safely opening schools as defined by the state and the county. One of those criteria was to have your own private COVID testing system right on campus. And we've developed that over the course of the last month, and we've actually started to test that testing system. And it's worked very well. So we now have that great news, but I wanted you to know that we probably will wait a couple of weeks before we bring students back to campus. And we're taking that walk before we run kind of mentality because we want to make sure the campus is fully safe, that we've done all the testing on the sixth grade students that we need to do, and all our other preparations are in place. Likewise, we probably won't start right away in full days because we want to make sure that we're doing it in the best and safest way for our students. It's interesting, we've done some small experiments on campus in recent days to know how our safety systems work. The first you may not know much about, but we actually created a supervised study hall for the children of our faculty and staff. We did that so that those people could know that their children and their education were fully taken care of by us, so that they could pay 100% attention to your children. And that has been very successful thus far. We also have about 20 boarding students on campus with permission from the county, knowing that they need that the boarders need that for housing. And those students have been very healthy and in great spirits. So I imagine some of you are watching and thinking, okay, Eric, we hear about sixth grade. What about the rest of the grades? And that's a more complicated story. You know from watching the news that our county is still not quite healthy enough for non-waiver grades to be allowed to return to school. The state recently moved from a numerical-based system that quite frankly was a bit confusing to a color-based system. And Contra Costa County is now colored purple. And color purple is not quite healthy enough to allow schools, again, non-elementary schools, to return to school. You have to be one notch up more healthy into the red zone. I think it's going to take a number of weeks before Contra Costa County is in the red zone, and after that happens, it's only after that happens that our county will consider allowing schools to open. It's important that I touch back on that walk before we run philosophy because I want to provide all of you as parents the same respect to be able to walk before you run. I know there are some families that will come right back to school, and I know that there are others because there's a medical situation in the home or there's another reason why parents or children don't feel quite comfortable yet returning to school. I want you to know that we fully respect that whole gamut of choices that you might make. We will support our children who decide to remain home in distance learning for a period of time before they're ready to come back to school. So I just wanted you to know that. I wanted to do a couple of quick logistics things just to make sure you're paying attention to them. The first is in order to make all of our schedules work this year, we had to do some changing to our long weekends. And the first one is coming up. I wanted you to know that Friday, October the 16th and Monday, October the 19th are days off from school, but I wanted you to also take the time to look at our calendar to make sure you're clear about all of the long weekends because the rhythm this year is a little bit different than in past years. Finally, we know that this is the time of year where we would do back to school events, and these are on our mind. I wanted you to know that we're thinking deeply about how to meet your needs as parents for those back to school events, knowing that we're going to be in an online environment. We need a little bit more time to do that to make sure we do it well. So please stay tuned, and we'll be back in touch about those back to school events. And we will look forward to seeing you, even if it is on Zoom, knowing that the time will come when we will get to be able to see you and your children here on campus this year. That's enough for now. Please be well. Please stay safe. Please be in touch if you need anything. Have a nice week.